Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's been a while, but I'm finally coming back. If you've been thinking of starting a business or you're just getting started in business, stick around because I want to share with you just my personal experience of my first 3 months as a full-time business owner. Business owner. Yeah, feels pretty good to say that. So I'm just going to cover a few of the things that really surprised me. Just things that didn't go as I thought they would or were a lot different once I actually experienced it. Becoming a business owner has really been one of my lifelong dreams. I mean, I've been thinking about this for the past 10 years. But thanks to the help of my wife and her financial support as she's working full-time for us, I was finally able to really explore this opportunity and really give it a full shot. I honestly cannot begin to properly describe how great and fulfilling it has been to not only work with people locally within my proximity here in Modesto, California, and help them with their financial and tax matters, but to actually be able to interact with you guys across the internet via YouTube, scheduling Zoom meetings, and really getting to meet who you are, who my viewers are. I've never been able to interact with my viewers that way, but now I can. It is so cool, and it's so rewarding. And I'm just so blessed for all of you guys who have watched my videos over the years and who now trust me enough just from my nerdy tax videos to actually work with me professionally. And so far, things have been really good. And I think the relationships we've been establishing just with people across YouTube or within my local community have all been very, very positive ones. Now, you've probably heard, I'm sure you guys have, that you really need to love what you do. You got to be passionate about it. And that's absolutely true, and much more so than you can possibly imagine. So when I first started out, I had expectations about how long things would take me, how long it would take me to do certain tasks, or how many hours I might work in a day. Well, what I can tell you is if you come in to your own business with the expectation you're going to work 8 hours a day, let me just clear things up for you real quick. It's probably not going to work that way. Right away, I found myself working not only 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and some days I actually work 13 or 14 hours in a given day. And so I went from employee to employer or business owner, right? And so when you think about that shift, maybe you were working 9 to 5 before, but it felt a lot more like I started working from 5 to 9 in the morning to 9 at night at times. Not all the time, but you guys get the idea. So when you make that transition to being a business owner, just realize that when you're new to business, you are the only leverage of your business. When you're first starting out, you are likely the only one working in your company. Hopefully, eventually that changes as you hire employees. You can get leverage financially. You could leverage technology. You could leverage social media and these other platforms. But when you're first getting started, you are what makes your business work. When I used to work as an accountant or as a senior tax manager in these different accounting firms, all I had to do was get in my car, drive to work. The work was there. The clients were there. I didn't have to worry about paying bills because the business owner paid all the bills. Just every aspect that would operate and run that business, I didn't have to think about all these other things. I just had to do my job. And I was told exactly what I needed to do, what my job was. But I wasn't doing admin kind of work. I wasn't doing marketing. I wasn't doing all these other functions that you realize once you start operating your own business, all of a sudden, you're not just doing one job anymore. You're doing 5 to 10 jobs all at once. You have to be your marketing person. You're your financial person. You're the salesperson. You're all these different roles. And so that's the kind of transition you're making. Because most people, what I found is when they talk about making the shift to operating their own business, we think about we're giving up that guaranteed paycheck, right? That's a guaranteed paycheck that we're no longer going to get. And that's hard, but it's so much more than just a significant shift financially. It's really a lifestyle change. What I found is that, there was a lot of things I enjoyed doing, right, in my free time. Well, once you start operating your own business, especially in the beginning, you have very little free time for those other things. And it's just hard to find time to accommodate those because, you're doing everything in your power to get the business off the ground so you can start making money, so you can start making profit, so you can actually pay yourself and not go into debt. So there's all these things that have to take place before you can get these other aspects of your life back and have this downtime. But it's going to take, just realize that I found for me, it's going to take me a while to get back to that. Typically, I would normally post a video a week. Even during tax season when I was employed as an accountant, I could post a video per week on YouTube. I became so busy, which was a good thing, but it just wasn't feasible for me to post a video. So by next tax season, I want to be better prepared for that and have content already established. So just expect that everything you do is going to take longer, because everything you do has to be a process. From how you send out your invoices to what do you put on the invoices? How do you track your receipts? Oh, how should I deliver this tax return? So obviously from the perspective of an accountant here, but everything in the business you do, you have probably not developed a process for. And that's what I found to be true for me, is as I went along, things just took so much longer than I anticipated because I had no processes in place. But after 3 months, now I have a steady flow. So it's kind of like you have to get into your rhythm. You got to get into your groove. And that's going to take some time until you figure out, how do you automate things? How do you do things consistently? A perfect example of something that was just taking me way too long in the beginning was actually just scheduling appointments. So I don't know if you guys can imagine this, but with being on YouTube, when I posted that 5-minute video that I was launching my own business, and that's the only one I posted, I got about 50 appointments approximately just from that one 5-minute video. So the response was overwhelming. Like, it was more than I could handle. And so I had all these people going to my website and then contacting me for tax services and this, that, and the other. Well, at first I was just emailing people back and trying to figure out time to what day they're available and what day I'm available and all this and that. And I found myself spending hours every day just doing emails. Like, I wasn't even getting work done. It was just, I was a full-time admin, or at least it started to feel that way. And so the one way I solved that is there's an app or a program called Calendly, if I'm saying that correctly. And this is not a sponsor for that, but for $12 a month, you basically no longer have to go through the process of trying to schedule appointments. You can just set up a link that connects to your Outlook calendar, and you post whatever days you are available on your Outlook calendar. And so when somebody wants to meet with you, all you have to do is send them your link and they'll pick the appointment for you. They'll schedule their time for you based on what you say you have available. Oh my goodness. The second I started implementing that, life was just so much easier, and I was able to book so many more appointments so much more efficiently, and then I could actually start to do other things with my day. This next one I just want to cover real briefly because honestly I could do a whole nother video topic on this, but I learned very quickly to not do proposals. But Mike, I heard I need proposals. Well, let me explain. What I found for me is that if I had a really good, really engaging conversation with somebody via Zoom or on the telephone or whatever, and if I were to send them a proposal the next day or even the same day, 7 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, probably never hear from them again. So I spent all that time making a proposal, sending it, and then just to be it turned down. And so I quickly realized that I was doing something wrong. And what I eventually discovered that worked for me and with the kind of business I do is that I quit doing proposals altogether. No more proposals. And instead, when I was on Zoom with them or when I was on the phone with them, I would gather enough information by asking the right questions to give them an approximate estimate or a range of what it would cost for them to get that work done. And not only was that more efficient for me, but the prospective client was so much more receptive to that and really appreciated that. And right away, I knew if I was going to do business with that person. And so after doing that, just the business really took off. And I found myself getting way more engagements and just building overall, not only better relationships, but just a better foundation of trust. Because if the prospective client had questions about price, I could answer and address them right there within that conference. I got one more for you guys in this video. I could give you a lot more, but I want to keep it on the shorter side. And the third thing I want to share with you, the third thing that kind of took me by surprise, is the significance of not only networking, but how important your reputation is. Let me explain. Of course, when I got into business, I knew I was going to have to do networking. And I don't know what you imagine when you do networking, but I viewed it as going out, meeting people for lunch, dinners, and all that kind of stuff, joining a group of professionals, attending conferences, and all that kind of stuff. And I'll be honest with you, networking is not my favorite thing. I'm actually way more comfortable standing here in this room and producing a YouTube video for 89,000 subscribers. I'm way more comfortable with that than I am going out and speaking with random randos in my local community. I know that sounds weird, but it's true. So I picked up my feet and I started doing networking. I joined a networking group in my local community, which is a group of professionals that consists of like a real estate agent, bankers, lawyers, and all that kind of stuff. I'm the accountant, and you guys get the idea. But also just having lunch with other professionals in my community who are also financial advisors, attorneys, and just anybody who works within my profession. And I started doing that, and it's what I found is it's really enjoyable. I had this idea in my mind that it had to be some really salesy kind of conversation, but what I've learned is that it really doesn't have to be. And more so now, when I am networking, I think of it more as, I get to have a conversation with a person, and if they're brand new, I've never met them before, I get to meet a new person and potentially a new friend. Because as I'm working with these people more and more, and as these people have been referring business to me, more and more I'm getting to know who they are. I ask them, how does their business operate? How can I help them with their business? And so what I found is when you go into business, networking is so vital, because your network of professionals and then even other people within your own profession are going to leverage your business more than you can possibly imagine. Because I was doing networking, I was getting so much more business, and my phone was ringing off the hook, and I was getting phone calls from people who I had not even spoken with yet. And so how did that happen? Well, one of the people I networked with was actually one of my former employers, not my last employer who fired me because I was starting my own business, but the employer before that, who I did have a good relationship with. And I was there for 7 years and never burned the bridges. And I still really enjoy talking to many of those people today. Well, I never expected that they would be wanting to have lunch with me. But when they saw that I was starting my own business, some of the partners of that firm reached out to me. We had lunch. They said, Mike, we got more business than we could handle, and we need a person we can trust who we can send that business to if the client is not a good fit for us. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'd be happy to be that guy. And because I had worked with them for so long, and because I had a good reputation with them, I was a good employee, or at least I'd like to think of myself that way, because I didn't cause drama. I really put in my time there, worked hard. They said, Mike, we know how you work. We know you're going to take really good care of whoever we send to you. They sent me well over $10,000 worth of business within the last 2 months. I could not believe it. So you never know how important your reputation is until you go into your own business. Because the better your reputation, the more people can trust you, the more people know you and like you, the more business you're going to get. And so networking doesn't have to be viewed as a salesy kind of thing, but more so building relationships, building trust, and building friendships. Because people ultimately, as you've seen, you've probably observed it, who people like to work with who they like. And so the more you get to know them and learn how your skill set can help them in their business and vice versa, the more they're going to be comfortable referring business to you. But it is a relationship, and it takes time. You have to invest in that relationship. And there might be a time where it doesn't make sense to keep investing, but if you're developing a relationship with somebody, give it time, see where it goes. And you never know, at some point they might have a client for you who would be a good fit for what you do and the kind of area and clients your businesses serve. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, one of the things that surprised me was how powerful YouTube is for launching your own business. I would encourage anyone to, if you want to start a business, especially like a service-based business, or it could be a product you sell too, it doesn't matter. to consider doing social media, whether you do like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and not to like push things on your subscribers, because that's not what it's about. You still want to give them value in your content, but your social media connections can generate a huge amount of business for you. And because of the connections I have over YouTube, I've been able to not only work with a lot of YouTubers such as yourself or just viewers who watch my channel, but because I really do try to do the absolute best job I can for each and every one of my clients, I now have, which I never could imagine this, I have people from YouTube referring me other people as clients. And it doesn't matter where they're at in the country, I'm getting phone calls on my phone. So because if you do good work for your clients or who your customers are, they're gonna send more business to you. So just remember, your number one referral sources could be your friends and family. Like for me, it's friends and family. It's people, my professionals in my local community, like former employers, other professionals I know personally, like my attorney and things like that. It could be your social media presence. It could be your clients, your own existing customer base could refer you more work. So you just don't know. So it is so important. I cannot stress this enough. Every job you do, put your best foot forward and show the client how passionate you are about what you do, but more importantly, how passionate you are to help them. And if you do that, they're gonna see that, oh, this is the person I wanna continue to do business with, and this is a person who not only do I wanna do business with, but hey, I trust them. If they take care of me so well, I know they're gonna take care of my friends and family well too, and that's what's gonna generate more business for you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've already made this video much longer than I wanted to, so I apologize for dragging it on, but I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. I hope by the sharing of my experiences of starting off in business that you really got something out of it. If you're thinking of starting a business or if you're just getting started in business, I think the takeaway here, at least for me, is that before I started the business, I had preconceived notions of how certain things would be. But when I actually started operating the business full time, all of a sudden, what I initially thought I knew, I realized I didn't know. And so I gained a much deeper understanding in a bunch of different areas. And I think you will too, because until you're in the fight, until you're in the arena, you're not gonna know how things are gonna be. But it is well worth it so far. I think if you're thinking of starting your business, for me, it's been a dream come true, and it's been a really positive experience so far. Not saying it's not scary, and I'm gonna tell you straight up, you're gonna work your ass off. Like it's gonna happen, but it's gonna be worth it. And to have control over your day, there's nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like it. So I would encourage anybody wanting to run their own business to give it a shot and give it a real shot and make the most of it. Just coming back to YouTube now, so you're gonna see more content on business, taxes, and money coming up, as I wanna help you guys all year long master your business, master your finances, and get control over your taxes. Until next time, I hope you have a damn good week, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.